Welcome back to The Critical Gentleman. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 watches to come out of Baselworld 2018. Stick around and we're going to run them down. So Baselworld 2018 came and went. There's still a lot of information coming out from the various media sources, but we've already seen some big releases from major brands, and I'd like to share with you what I think are the 5 best and most important watches released at Baselworld 2018 so far. Starting us off at number 5 is the Breitling Navigator 8. I think this watch is an important release because it represents a departure from Breitling's tried and true Navigator design that we've seen every year since really the 50s. Although the design itself is somewhat reminiscent of vintage pieces in terms of the layout of the dial and the rather simplified presentation, it's a big change for what we normally associate with the Navigator look. It seems to be taking a cue from some military-style dials, and similarly recalls the high-contrast, very legible dial of the Breitling AVI from years past. Even though it's not my personal favorite release from Breitling this year, I do think it is the most important, as it represents a change in direction from a brand that has stood by their tried-and-true look for many years. As one of the Swiss watch houses which recently changed ownership, it is no surprise that they are turning over new leaves in their design. Whether or not this will pay off in the large market has yet to be seen. Number 4 on my list is the Omega 1948 Cmaster. Not only is this an important release, but I think it's also one of my favorites, especially since Omega did not have quite such a watershed year as they did last year in 2017. It's no surprise that it might be hard to follow the trio of vintage re-editions they released last year at Baselworld, and Smart Money says that they're probably already planning something big for next year's 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. So I guess it is really to be expected that this may be a more subdued year in terms of what Omega might release. Still, they've delivered a very attractive and historically informed piece with the Cmaster 1948, both in center-seconds and sub-seconds versions. These sport the chunky cases that came out of the late 40s into the early 50s, which you can still find on the secondary market, so I'm eager to see what they come up with for next year, given that it will be the 50th anniversary of the 1969 moon landing. Number 3 on this list is going to be the Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi Bezel Jubilee bracelet. Now, if that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is, but it is an exciting release. It is a crowd favorite that is welcome back into the Rolex lineup, and I've seen many people really geared up to get their hands on one of these. I believe the waiting list is already months to years long. Now, truthfully, I don't see anything particularly groundbreaking about this re-release, but demand alone is enough to warrant that this is one of the most important releases this year. I certainly like the look, and I definitely would not turn down one of these watches, but keep an eye out for my upcoming video where I'll detail which are my personal favorite releases of Baselworld 2018. And spoiler alert, it's not the Pepsi GMT. Dialing in on our last 2 watches here, my number 2 pick for best release at Baselworld 2018 is the Longines Nautilus diver. Now, this is an interesting watch, if for no other reason because I've seen exactly one photo of it. This watch is a sleeper. There have been no articles, no releases. It's not on the Longines website, but I've seen it. It exists, and it is a really cool diver. I have no idea what the stats are. I'm going to guess it's a 42 mil case because that seems to be the standard for Longines. But it's got a really elegant dial. You can see it's got that sort of vintage patina lume color, a rotating bezel. I don't know if it's bidirectional or unidirectional, but I think just overall, this is an exciting release because it's a new addition to the Longines Heritage lineup, which I think is their strongest collection, and it's pretty much just an undeniably attractive and elegant design. Still, though, it's not my personal favorite release from Longines this year, even though I do think it is the most important. You'll have to watch my Gentleman's Choice video to see which 5 watches I would buy from Baselworld 2018. Anyway, that brings us to number 1, in my opinion, the best and most important release this year at Basel 2018, the Tudor Pepsi GMT. Now, not only does this release mean that people can get into the GMT game for way less than a Rolex price, but it means that Tudor is entering a whole new market with a complication they have not offered previously. All of a sudden, people are going to have to choose between Tudor and Rolex, and it's going to be more of a consideration than simple price. Although that certainly will come into play, we've now got a more attractive option for the budget-minded and for the people who simply prefer snowflake hands to Mercedes. The fact is, this is an exciting release from a pet brand that has made huge waves in recent years, and I have no doubt that this is quickly going to be one of their top sellers. I might even go so far as to say it will outshine the Tudor chronograph released last year at Basel 2017, which in fact I thought was also going to be a game changer. Anyway, that's it for my top 5 from Basel 2018. Stay tuned for Gentleman's Choice. That's going to be my personal top 5 favorite watches to come out of Basel. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more Basel 2018 coverage coming your way soon. Thanks for watching The Critical Gentleman.